Hello, good evening, everybody. I am going to keep this open mic and I'm going to do part two. I started last week with part of what Rico Brown was doing as a training. So I wanted to do part two because we're all directors or directors in training. Hello, Amanda. Welcome.
Hi, Amanda.
So I was scribbling notes rapidly when he was talking the other night, and I thought I'd just go through all of this because as leaders, we need to be ramping up. We can't just stick to the same old, same old. And if we want our teams to grow, we've got to train them and we've got to be the leader. So some of the basics that Rico was talking about is it's our job as team leaders or as directors, basically, to do basic, and we've got to teach our downlines to do basic team training every week. So something like this, whether it's in your lounge, whether it's on a Zoom, and remember the Zoom channel is open to anybody. Logins are freely available. So you're more than welcome to do your own Zoom using the same logins if you want to. But we've got to do training every week. Let's bring this down a little bit over here. We need to do a presentation every week, either in the form of a one-on-one or a shake party. And if you don't know how to do a shake party, all the information is in the back office. They teach you exactly how to do it. Don't make a big thing out of it. One-on-one is simply 10, 15 minutes over a cup of coffee. It doesn't have to be a big 3 hour presentation like they used to do back in the old days. That was what Charlie used to do 5 nights a week. Every night, he used to do a 3 hour training in Port Elizabeth and then would travel around all over the place doing the same thing. We don't have to do that anymore. People don't have the time for that. Not quite sure what they're doing all the time, but they don't have the time for a 3 hour presentation. Imagine if we said, okay, we're doing a 3 hour presentation every night from 7 until 10 in your neighborhood. How many people do you think would pitch? I know how many would pitch in my neighborhood. Um, we need to do recognition, your specifically to your nursery. And that recognition doesn't have to be, oh, look, you've done 5,000 PV this week. No, it's simply, well done for coming to the training. It's good to see you here. And then monthly, you need to do recognition as well, which we do with our ADT, either via a Zoom or preferably via a physical. Um, I do remember the days when we had access to the Near Life Convention Center, and I booked my weekends every month to go through because we had some really, really good presentations over there. And then we need to look at our team and do a manager school monthly just before month end. So essentially, we are in a business. It's a work from phone business. So we don't have to worry about paying rents to for various offices and things. And maybe that's a downside because I think if we did have to have an office and go normal corporate, we would probably take this more seriously. I know I would, because now it costs you money. You've got to go to somewhere, you've got to pay the rent, you've got to pay the overheads. But we're very fortunate in that this is a business that is literally a work from phone business. And we don't have, and that's one of the selling points of the business, is we don't have to have all those big overheads that a normal brick and mortar business has. We don't have to have business premises. We don't have to have staff. I mean, how many staff does Charlie actually have? I think he's got three. And he's earning what many CEOs aren't even earning. And they are heading up huge corporations. So we don't need to worry about all those big things, but we do need to do it. I mean, Zoom, these 40-minute chats are free. It costs you a little bit of data, but they are actually free. So there's really, and this is what I like about it, because when we used to do ADTs in Durban, that would pretty much take care of my day because it was an hour and a half drive up, an hour to 2 hours there, and then an hour and a half back. That pretty much took care of my entire Saturday. Not to mention the fuel costs, the wear and tear on the car, etc. This is very simple. We've got Amanda down in the Eastern Cape. How long would it take you to travel to Durban weekly or monthly? Would you do it? Probably not. I know I wouldn't anymore. But yeah, it's Zoom makes it so much easier. We can
Uh-oh.
actually, if we've got a team member in Namibia or Mozambique or States, we can get them onto the trainings on this, and they don't have to go any further than their office or their lounge. And we need to teach people how to sponsor, not just sign up, sponsor. And that sponsoring is we need to teach them how to respond to a yes and how to respond to a no. And remember, they're going to get a lot more no's than they're going to get yeses. And that's the trouble with any sales position is you have to have a thick skin because there's going to be a lot more people saying no. And remember too, what is our job? Our job isn't to sell products. Our job is simply to make the offer to look at a way to earn some extra income. That is our job. Not us to tell the person what they can and can't do with their money. We don't even know how much money they've got. They might look like paupers, but if they're determined enough, if their dream is big enough, they're going to make a plan. And we saw that at convention. And we see that at Bloemfontein as well. And I look at these people and I go, I would never have approached that person because I automatically think they don't have any money. And look at the number of people there who started. Their stories are, we stayed in a chicken hook. We were living outside in a little outhouse. There were 6 of us in one little space. One lady who now at the latest convention, it was the um, she was the new up and rising one, and she's a street hawker. We walk, I walk past these street hawkers sitting here at the beach, and you look at them and you go, you know, should I approach them? Normally, you just walk past her and you carry on, and you tend to ignore them. Yet those are the people that have got the big dreams. They've got the big desires. And if you ask them away, ask them if they would be open to looking at a way, I'm pretty sure a lot of them would say yes. They're not going to negotiate price. They're going to say yes. How do you respond? If they say no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But we need to teach our people that we've sponsored what to do. As Charlie says, you offer them the business. If they say no, you offer them the product, not the other way around. That's my downfall because I do it the wrong way around. But we need to be offering the business. And that's what sponsoring is all about. And so technically, what do we do? Because people say, yes, what is it? You don't want to go and do a full-on business presentation. And the simple answer is we help people feel better. We help people feel better health-wise, better about themselves through personal development, better about their financial situation. I think it was Amazon have just basically retrenched another 14,000 people. And there's a lot more coming up as well. Google are busy retrenching another, I don't know how many thousands of people because this infamous AI is taking over those businesses and doing people out of jobs. I saw something fairly recently where they showed two pictures, and one was a picture of a helicopter with a cameraman doing a news shot. And they said, right there, you're seeing a minimum of 3 jobs that have been removed because now one person sitting on the ground can operate a drone and do exactly the same thing as a helicopter pilot and a cameraman could do. So there's 2 jobs gone simply by using technology. And if you really want to go out it, I mean, that helicopter, who had to build it, somebody needs to put fuel in there, somebody has to maintain it. So all those jobs fall away because a drone doesn't require any of that. So technology is rapidly catching up. And at the end of the day, the jobs that are still going to be available are those personal interaction jobs like this. Even doctors are starting to have people using AI. I do it to make diagnoses. So they go they go and do their own diagnostics and go and do their own treatment. Not always a good idea, but this is the facts of life. So those jobs are disappearing. And the other thing is that we don't only help people feel better, we help people make money. And that, if you really want to simplify our business presentation that used to take 3 hours, you can bring it down to literally 2 sentences. What do? We help people feel better and we help people make money. If they want to know more, great. Now we can sit down and talk to them. But isn't it so much easier to spend 10 seconds telling those 2 sentences than to spend 3 hours explaining it? And then the person says, no, thanks, I'm not interested. And then he went on and spoke about the principles of a solid business. And he mentioned 8 different things. So first of all, we need to look at the attributes of a qualified prospect. Do they have dreams? Do they have desires? And those dreams and desires are essentially their wants. What do they want? If somebody comes up to you and said, what do you want right now? Money and time is no issue. What do you want? For the vast majority of people go, I don't know. I want $1 million. Or I listen to people, oh, I'd love to win the lotto because then I don't have to be at work. Is it really what they want? Or do they rather want to spend more time with their family, more quality time with their family? There's nothing that makes me more sad than seeing people who are pensioners or close to pension age sitting in hospital or sitting in doctor's rooms, wasting hours and hours of time waiting and then getting full of all sorts of stuff, treatment for things instead of enjoying their retirement and enjoying their life. And if you saw my post this morning on my status, what is it over here? Don't build a business, build a lifestyle that generates income. And that just hit home again, because that's exactly what we want to do. That's what we want to show other people how to do. So it's we helping people develop a lifestyle. To me, there's nothing worse than having spent 40 years slaving away for somebody, and then you spend the next 10, 15 years of your life wasting all that money, spending it on medical treatments, and sitting waiting in hospital waiting rooms or doctors' waiting rooms, in pain, suffering, not enjoying your life. So we need to find out what people are looking for. What are they wanting? I think Alta told us that story way back in the beginning when at their first meeting, the guy came up to her and he said, if I gave you back then 5,000 Rand right now in cash, what would you do with it? And she looked at him and went, I have no idea. And I know I'm talking to myself. Most of us would be in the same situation. Yes. Okay, multiplied over the years. Here's 50,000 Rand. What are you going to do with it? It's those things that we need to look at. So we need to share the opportunity first. This is very much preaching to the choir over here and the converted. Share the opportunity first, not the products. And I know I'm a slow learner, but I am trying to learn to do this because that is what we're doing. We're offering them an opportunity. The products are just literally, it's a byproduct. Number three is we need to hold that opportunity high. It is a career, not a job. A job is something that you do to earn a salary at the end of the month. And I always cringe when I hear people, oh, don't like this job, I want another job. Well, you're trading one prison for another prison. Isn't it better to go out and do something for yourself, build a lifestyle? You're working for yourself and you develop that time and money freedom, not another restriction because it's the same thing, just a different flavor, basically. And the opportunity creates and adds value to lives. Instead of just, it's another, oh, we're starting at 8, we're finishing at 4, or worse, you're looking at nursing staff, you start at 7, you finish at 7, 3 days a week, off for 2 days, and you start again. And if blows my mind when I hear people, they phone the nursing staff at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Are you available to work tonight? Now they've got to pull a full 12-hour shift at night, but they've been doing their normal activities during the day. And because they're so desperate for money, they say yes. And that's why they get exhausted. And even in other jobs, we forget to say no, no more. Success takes time. This is not a get rich quick, as one of the guys says. It's a get rich eventually, not a get rich quick. Not an overnight thing. If you think about it, you're spending 40 years working for a boss to give you just enough to get by at the end of that. You're not living, or you're surviving, you're not living. So success takes time. There's planning, there's building, and there's strategy. Think of this as a monopoly game. You don't earn a fortune once you've chosen your little token to push there on the board. You've got to earn that. And that takes time, it takes strategy, and it takes planning. And your income is related to your qualification monthly. So in a job, if you put in an extra 10 hours or 15 hours or 20 hours, as I see quite often, how much overtime people do. So they're working 40 hours a week, but they're putting in an extra 25 hours a week in overtime. All that they're doing is they're earning a little bit of extra money, which pushes them into another tax bracket. So the taxman says, thank you very much. He gets rich. You've exhausted yourself for an extra couple of thousand a month, and you've missed out on all your home life and your opportunities at home and your family life and your quality of life. Is it really worth it? Whereas if you're spending 1 hour, 2 hours a day extra, 5 days a week, and you're earning treble that amount because you've now registered yourself as a business, you can claim a lot of that back from tax because that's the benefits of a home or phone-based business. You spend time, quality time with your family because it's only an extra hour to make up the same amount as you would have earned if you had worked an extra 25 hours. And it's on your own terms. So if you want to earn some extra money, just qualify. I'm sure, Amanda, you're going to be getting quite a nice check this month because you qualified really well. And hopefully that money will come through tomorrow or the day after. We need to keep the business fun. We know that work isn't fun. Is it fun to go into an office where you don't enjoy the work, you don't enjoy, in a lot of cases, the people around you, you don't enjoy the stress, you don't enjoy the commute. So what's the point of working overtime if you're not having fun and not enjoying it? And we need to keep the business fun. and be interested in your people. Not just be interesting, be interested in. And I often kick myself because you should have commented over there. You should have said something. You should have done that extra encouragement. And there's too many should haves. But if you develop a lifestyle and you make it just part of your life of encouraging people, building them up, thanking people, helping them grow. Be interested in the people that you sponsor. And we then need to do a professional presentation, preferably live, with banners, product display, the whole bang shoot, regularly. Keep it simple. Recruit, upgrade, duplicate. So we recruit somebody, we help them to upgrade, we teach them how to do the same thing. Recruit, upgrade, duplicate. Same old, same old, same old. Some of the techniques have changed because we no longer are restricted to our little area or our little province. I think again of Charlie back in the old days, where he would climb in the car on a Friday night after work, drive through to Durban to do presentations, Saturday, Sunday, hop in the car, drive back again, go back to work on Monday. How often was he doing that? Now, with these sort of Zoom calls and even Facebook, we can do a professional presentation from the comfort of your home without spending vast amount of time traveling, danger on the roads, fuel costs, etc. But we need to recruit, upgrade, duplicate, and show other people exactly how to do that. We need to maintain and set standards in our team. Are we going to be happy for our team to do what we are currently doing? And I'm glaring very brightly at myself and very closely at myself, because question needs to be, am I happy for my team to copy what I personally am doing right now? My short answer, no. Amanda, you are teaching me what to do. Thank you. So it's a continual encouragement. And we need to keep that standard high. So this month, qualify again as QSM. Because if you qualified QSM, that helps me and encourages me and gives me a kick up the butt to qualify at my next level. Because we need to keep that encouragement going. We are in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And it's too easy if you're working for yourself, you're working from home, to lose that focus. And we need to learn how to invest and help our team to develop. And that investment is not just money. I mean, look at how much money Charlie invests into his team every month. Small fortune. But look at how much time Charlie invests into his team every month. And what are the results? Charlie has the biggest team in near life in the world. Kendra, Jerry, all comment on that regularly. Charlie lives on a farm 120 kilometers outside of the nearest city. Charlie doesn't know how to use a computer. What is he doing that we aren't? It's a simple thing. He doesn't have 150 degrees behind his name. He keeps it simple and basic that anybody can do. And we need to look at other people. Look at the teams from Mozambique. Look at the teams from Namibia. At Impact Summit, the Mozambique team came down in 3 buses and they traveled for 32 hours in those buses to get from Mozambique to Pretoria. And we complain about driving from Joburg to Pretoria because it's too far. And also at Impact Summit, I didn't see all the hands from my position, but just from a quick glance, Andrew asked for a show of hands of how many guests there were. And I'm guessing probably about 30 to 40% of the people that were there were guests. And they weren't from South Africa.
Mm-mm.
What are those people doing that we aren't? Why are we falling short? And it's just a wake-up call for me. That's why I enjoy going to these things. And this is why we should be going to these events, because that's where we see, and it's a, hey, what are you doing or not doing? Those people don't, I mean, a street vendor doesn't have access to Facebook. They don't have access to a quarter of the things or three-quarters of the things that we do. I know me personally, sorry, I'm spoiled. I have a very good fiber connection. I have a laptop. I have a microphone. I have access to social media, yet I'm not growing. Why? Simply because I'm not utilizing the tools to talk to people. We've got the tools. We are spoiled for choice. If you look in your back office, we have got so many free tools. And I think part of the problem, personal opinion, is the problem is those tools are free. We don't appreciate them. If you look at other companies, for them to have these trainings and things, they've got to pay sometimes 30, 40, $50 to be able to get those trainings that we get for free. How much do you pay to keep a website going? People are paying a couple of $100 a month just to keep a website going. It costs us 160 Rand a year for a fully functional international website with financial capabilities on board, because Neil, our staff do all that work for us. And I always say, I would pay them 160 Rand a month. In fact, I'd probably pay them more for the work that they do for us for 160 Rand a year. We are more than spoiled. We've got 3 DSCs in South Africa, in little South Africa. America has got 2. They're a little bit bigger than this country. They have got 2 DSCs. They have to have a minimum of 1,000 PV order for a free delivery. We get 100 PV. Namibia, minimum of 250 PV order for a free delivery. We have to do a paltry little 100. We are more than spoiled. So that's my rant and training for the evening. Anybody have any comments or questions before I stop the recording?